So before we touch a single use case, then we do this first module, the second module, which is pretty important in terms of compliance because you want to get the compliance right. Because if we don't, it's going to end up in a mess, and nothing else really matters in terms of. You guys have all been in financial services, you know the score when it comes to compliance. We need to get that right. But full disclosure first, and I will say this on camera in every cohort. So I'm not FCA regulated. I'm not compliance officer. So what I'm giving you is like a practical framework, really, that's built on FCA guidance and on UK GDPR. So you need to run your own firm's policy or your network's policy alongside everything that I kind of teach you. So if they disagree with me, then they win, always. But the good news is, to open with, that in December 25, the FCA confirmed that there's no specific AI rules in our sector. So that means then that the rules that you already know apply to AI, because there's no, as I said, there's no differential. It's just the same kind of playbook that we're kind of reading from. So and obviously UK GDPR, so it makes it a lot easier, like I said. So you already live inside these kind of regulations every day, so we're just applying them to a new tool, really. So here are the 3 lines then that you should never cross. So lean into these, and you have the spine of everything that we're going to cover in course, and everything out of this course that you want to use with AI, really. So this module is really important to apply to other things as well, other than just the Claude stuff that obviously we're teaching in this course. So the first line is no identifiable client data goes into a standard consumer account. So this is the one that people get wrong. So listen closer to this. So when you put a client's name into AI, that even their income, their address, anything really that identifies them into Claude, or like I say, any AI model, and under UK GDPR, that makes you a controller. And the moment another company processes that data on your behalf, you need a contract with them. And a very specific one. It's called a data processing agreement, and that sits under Article 28 of UK GDPR. So here's the bit that matters then. A standard consumer account, free, pro, or max, talking about Claude now specifically, it doesn't actually come with that agreement. It just can't give you one. You could switch every setting off and you still don't have that processor contract that the regulation requires. So the plan that does give you that agreement is the team plan. So team plan gives you the processor relationship the law expects that you to have, with your data kept out of model training by default. So that's the reason that regulated firms move to team. It's not about the retention windows, it's about having that contract. So then, even on top of the right account, you need to minimize. So strip out what you don't need. So use initials instead of full names where you can. You synonymize. The account gives you the legal floor. So line 2, the advice is always yours. So Claude drafts, you decide. Claude can produce a beautiful first draft of a suitability letter in 90 seconds. But it still has no idea whether that recommendation is right for the client. So it can't assess suitability. It cannot make a recommendation. And under senior management regime, a named human being is accountable for that advice. And obviously that human is you. So the model writes, you review, you verify, you sign every single word of that. So line 3, you always check the output. So Claude, like any AI, it's getting better, but it can be wrong. So Claude can be wrong, and it can be confidently wrong. So it can invent a rate, a product detail, a lender criteria, and present it just like it was facts. But in AI, and I'm sure some of you have come across this term, we call it hallucination. So nothing goes near a client until you've checked it against the source. The fact find, the meeting notes, the lender's own page. The job is to be the checker layer, because the raw tool doesn't have that already kind of pre-built in. So purpose-based advice tools already have that compliance layer baked in. Claude hasn't got that. So that's not a weakness once you know it. It means that you can obviously save money by paying some of these tools that have been coded together or vibe coded in terms of building suitability reports or specific software for financial services. We could do a lot of that with Claude, just build these and kind of get the use cases out of tools that you could be paying hundreds of pounds per month for, all within Claude. But obviously, you need to be aware of these kind of these 3 lines that we don't want to cross. So I'm just going to give you now 3 questions to ask yourself every time that you ask Claude to do a single task. So it's worth screenshotting this because I'm going to show the steps now, the question. So number 1, what am I putting in? Is there any client personal data? And am I the right account for it? And am I on the right account for it? So number 2, who owns this output? Have I reviewed it? Have I verified it? And number 3, does my network have an AI policy? And am I working within that policy? To be honest, I've spoke to a lot of networks recently. It's something that some of them have got, but most haven't got yet. But that is ever evolving. Some people are just putting it together. Others say it's going to be something that's going to be in the pipeline. But at the time of the recording of this, there's not that many, but it's worth checking and making sure you know the ins and outs of what that is. So they're the 3 questions to ask with every task. And one more thing on networks, if you're at a point a representative or a principal sets the rules, Module 2 of this course was built to be shared. So send it to your compliance team, send the 1-page quick reference that's down below for downloads in the resources section. And just make sure, because obviously you're not asking permission to be reckless, you're showing them that you've got this framework. That conversation when you walk in with that goes a lot better with this context. So that is the framework, 3 lines, 3 questions, the right account, the right contract underneath it. Get this part right and everything else in the course is just upside, really.